What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into my Week 12 NFL predictions. Yes, we are already at this time. It is midnight right now for me, so it is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving for anyone who is watching this on Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you all have a good Thanksgiving. But let's get into this, starting out with what I got right and what I got wrong from last week. Let's get into this. Starting out with the Tennessee Titans versus the Green Bay Packers. I did pick the Titans to win that game. So I did get that one right. So, there you go. I got that one right. I did pick the Bills to beat the Browns in that game pretty easily. The Bills handled their business. Did pick the Eagles to beat the Colts. Got the Saints to beat the Rams right in the upset alert. I did pick the Giants to beat the Lions. Giants, disappointing game there. I did say this could be an upset alert, and the Lions came out to play there. So big win for them. Did pick the Ravens to beat the Panthers. Just a very low-scoring game and defensive battle. Ravens were the better team. I did pick an upset here, regretting it, but I did pick the Texans to beat the Commanders. The Commanders were just clearly the better team, and they got the win. Did pick the Bears to beat the Falcons on the road. I got that one wrong. I did. So that's tough. But then I did pick the Patriots to beat the Jets. And the Patriots won that one by a kick return for a touchdown. So congratulations for them. I did pick the Denver Broncos to beat the Las Vegas Raiders. Did get that one wrong. Been a very frustrating year for Denver Broncos. Did pick the upset for the Cowboys to beat the Vikings, and the Cowboys ran all over the Minnesota Vikings in that one. That was an embarrassment for Minnesota. Did pick the Bengals to beat the Steelers right there. And I did pick the Chiefs to beat the Chargers. And then I did pick the San Francisco 49ers to beat the Cardinals. Also, that Chiefs-Chargers game was pretty darn good. But the Niners clearly were the better team over Arizona. So, with that, I went 10-4 on the week. Got back to business after a rough week. I'm now 101-62. So I got to that 100 win mark, triple digits. 62 losses on the year. I'm trying to get to double, my losses. And we're going to see if we can keep this going here with this week on the Thanksgiving games. Let's start out with the Detroit Lions, as they always do, playing Thanksgiving, hosting the Buffalo Bills. Should be a fun one. Between the Lions and the Bills, honestly, I could see an upset here, to be honest with you. The Lions, their offense can get going. The Bills' defense didn't play great against the Browns in their last game. But yeah, this Lions defense has improved quite a bit, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to take down Josh Allen and the Bills. Just a rough game for the Lions to play on Thursday. They are in a winning streak. They are hot right now, but I do think that's going to come to an end with a loss to the Bills. All right, let's go down here. We have the New York Giants traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Cowboys looked phenomenal in that game against the Vikings. Now, the Vikings, the Cowboys, I think, are an upset alert here. It's Thursday night game. It is a short week. But the Cowboys are coming off that big of a win. We've seen the Cowboys before where they just shut down when the expectations are very high for this team. The New York Giants are banged up, but they got a solid enough defense. I am going to pick the Cowboys in this one, but I think this one's going to be actually a pretty darn close game, and I can very much see a big upset for the New York Giants to advance to 8-3, and the Cowboys drop to 7-4. Let's go down here. We have the New England Patriots traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Kirk Cousins did not look good in that last game, clearly, but now they get a short week. They can get back to playing their regular ball. Patriots coming off a big win over the New York Jets. I do think that Bill Belichick is going to be able to shut down the run game a little bit more for this defense. This defense has been solid. I do think that the Vikings offense might struggle here. This might be a mismatch for the Minnesota Vikings, especially the way they looked in their last game. I do think that they're going to be able to figure some things out. I do think this offense has been very explosive over this year. I am going to pick the Minnesota Vikings. It is being played at home, but 3 Thanksgiving games that are heavily favorites for one side. Wow, I could see all of these being big upsets right now, but I'm going to take the Vikings to barely pull it off. Let's go down here. We have the Cleveland Browns hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this one. All right, so the Browns. Deshaun Watson's not going to be back for this game. He's still going to have to wait it out for one more game. So must-win game territory for the Cleveland Browns here. The Bucs are coming off a bye week. I do think that Nick Chubb and this team can be able to run the ball decently. I'm not sure. The Buccaneers defense stepped it up against Seattle against a good run attack. They're coming off a bye week. The Browns, this defense has been very underwhelming. I think the Buccaneers are going to continue moving the football like they did against the Seahawks and are going to pull off a win here against Cleveland. All right, let's go down here. We have the Tennessee Titans hosting the Cincinnati Bengals for a big matchup here. Wow, this should be a fun one, guys. Jamar Chase is coming back for this one. All right, so if we look at the matchup, I do think that the Tennessee Titans, this is just an average Bengals defense. I do think they're going to be able to run the ball effectively with Derrick Henry, going to be able to move the ball on offense. And have a good game on that side of the football. And then it comes down to the big matchup between this offense for the Bengals and this defense for the Tennessee Titans. The defense for the Tennessee Titans has been very, very good as of late in this rematch of the divisional game from last year. The Titans want their revenge. This defense, I think, is going to play well. But this Bengals offense with Jamar Chase coming back, this is tough, man. I am going to take the Tennessee Titans in this one, honestly. Mainly just because I trust the Titans offense versus that Bengals defense more than I do with that Bengals offense versus the Titans defense. But this one should be a very good game and should be a fun one to watch. I am going to take the Titans just barely being played at home. I think they'll just have enough. Let's go down here. Only 1% of people are picking the Houston Texans. Everyone's counting out the Texans in this game against the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, not great here for the Houston Texans. I'm just going to mark up a win for the Dolphins. Texans have not looked good all year long. They just keep getting worse in my eyes. Just the lack of talent's there. And I do think the Dolphins are clearly by a mile the better team. So I'm going to take the Dolphins, also coming off a bye week. Let's go down here. We have the Chicago Bears traveling to New York to take on the Jets. Very interesting game because Zach Wilson is out for the Jets in this one. I don't know how this offense is going to look for New York now. Fortunately, they're going up against a bad Bears defense, so maybe the offense is going to be able to move the football. But this really comes down to the Jets defense versus this Bears offense. The passing attack for the Jets, the passing defense for the Jets has been very good this season. But the Bears are going to be able to run the football over the Jets here in this game. I have picked the Bears to pull off a lot of upsets recently. I am not entirely sure what this Jets offense is going to look like without Zach Wilson in there being benched. So I am going to take the Bears, honestly, in this one for an upset. I just don't really have faith in the Jets offense right now. I do think the Bears, the Jets defenses might be – the Jets defense is very good, but I do think that the Bears are going to be able to move the football effectively. The Bears defense isn't really good at all, but I think they're going to have enough in this one to pull off an upset. So I'm going to take the Bears to get their 4th win of the year right there. Let's go down here. We have the Washington Commanders taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Big game in the NFC West. I mean, in the NFC, not NFC West, but yeah, this is a big game for both these teams. Falcons trying to, maybe win their division. The Commanders trying to slide into a wild card spot. So I do think Taylor Heinicke is going to be able to move the ball pretty darn well against the very bad Falcons defense. They're going to be able to run the ball really effectively, like we saw versus the Bears. Now, the Falcons defense did take a step up last week against the Bears. I do think this Falcons offense can play decent enough against the Commanders defense, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm going to take the Washington Commanders in this one. I can see a Falcons upset. Arthur Smith can get a good game plan, but I am going to take the Commanders. Let's go down here. We have the Denver Broncos taking on the Carolina Panthers. Not a fun one to try and predict here. Okay, Russell Wilson and the Broncos. Okay, so this defense for the Broncos, we saw what now P.J. Walker's coming back, so that's going to help for the Panthers. They're being played in Carolina. Not sure how much of effect that's going to have because the Panthers fans probably aren't too excited to watch their team play. I do think that the Panthers offense can do stuff with P.J. Walker, at least decent amount of stuff. Russell Wilson and the Broncos have got to have a good enough week. Melvin Gordon is out, so no more worries about fumbles on the goal line with him in. I am going to take the Broncos in this one. I am giving them another chance. They've been so close in a lot of these games. This one, I just feel like they really have to win this one. So I'm going to take the Broncos right there. All right, let's go down here. We have the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Jaguars coming off a bye week here. The Ravens didn't really look great against the Panthers. It's very inconsistent unit. It's a hard unit to predict. The Ravens, they might be settling in a little bit too much. This could be an upset territory. Jaguars coming off the bye week. They've been a pretty impressive team, honestly. I know they're 3-7, but this team can pull off an upset. I do think the offense can play decent enough against a Ravens defense. I think that this Ravens offense sleeping a little bit. Bateman's out for the year. I feel like they haven't been as good. I am going to take the Jaguars here in this game, honestly, for an upset. I think Doug Peterson's going to come up with a good enough game plan here and pull off a massive upset over the Baltimore Ravens right there. All right, let's go down here. We have the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Kyler Murray is expected to be playing for this game here. I'm not sure how much of a difference that's going to make here. The Chargers coming off two very frustrating losses where they had those games that they could have won. And if they won both of them, they would have been on top of the AFC West, or at least tied with the Chiefs right now. So that's rough for the Chargers. I do think that the Chargers can move the ball efficiently against the Cardinals. This defense is not good. Justin Herbert, I do think he's going to play well. Kyler Murray, he's been just not great this year, honestly. I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm taking the Chargers in this one, and the Cardinals, I do think, are going to drop to 4-8. Okay, let's go here. We have the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Seahawks coming off a bye week. Their offense didn't look great against the Bucs, but now they get a perfect redemption arc against the Raiders, whose defense just sucks. Let's be completely honest, just sucks. They played well against the Broncos, but it's against the Broncos. So how much stock can you put in that? I don't think really any. I think that Geno Smith and the Seahawks are going to be able to move the ball very efficiently and run the football very well in this game. And then defensively, I think Seattle's going to have enough in this one to shut down Derek Carr. I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one to pull off a win. Let's go down here. We have the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the LA Rams. At the beginning of the year, this looked like a very good matchup, but this is looking anything but. The Chiefs are just going to run all over the Rams and basically just going to be the end of the Rams year here, in my opinion. The Rams defense been mediocre. They're going to get really exposed against the Chiefs here. And then the offense for the for the Rams, just not going to do really anything against a solid enough Chiefs defense. So I'm going to take the Chiefs pretty easily in this one. Going down here, we have the New Orleans Saints traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Yeah, the 49ers, they look good in their last game. But they were playing Colt McCoy, so their offense looked good, but they're playing the Cardinals defense. So how much stock do you put into that? I'm not sure. I think the Niners might be a little bit too hyped this season. Just a couple weeks ago, they very much struggled against the Chargers. Yeah, I don't know. The Saints defense, I think, can play well against the Niners offense. Kyle Shanahan, very good coach, but I do think that they might struggle today against the Saints. And then I do think that the Niners defense will be able to do stuff against Andy Dalton, but Andy Dalton's been able to move the ball efficiently. It's really been on primetime where they've struggled. I feel like this is upset territory for the San Francisco 49ers, but I'm not going to go for it. There's a lot of upset scenarios this week. This could be one of them. I could see this week being like burning up in flames right now. Chaos everywhere. I'm going to take the Niners, though, to pull off the win. All right, going down here, we have a Sunday night football matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Must-win game for Green Bay here if they want to keep their season somewhat alive. They need to win this one badly, especially because they do not own that tiebreaker over the Commanders, which makes things even more difficult for the Packers to be able to make the playoffs. The Eagles have been iffy over the past few weeks. Jalen Hurts hasn't played as well as he did earlier this year. The defense has been as good as usual, at least last week. We're able to stop the run attack from Jonathan Taylor, at least hold it. I do think that the Eagles' defense is going to play well against the Green Bay Packers. But another upset alert territory here. Aaron Rodgers, we saw what he could do a few weeks ago against the Cowboys. I feel like this is a mismatch, though. I don't know. I don't think the Eagles are a worthy 10-1 football team, to be honest with you right now. I want to go Packers upset. I just cannot see Aaron Rodgers. I have a feeling that the Packers are going to come out in this game and pull off a big upset. I can't see Aaron Rodgers dropping to 8-7 here. Give me the Packers. I don't know. It feels like a mismatch, but I think the Packers are going to pull off an upset. Let's go down here. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Indianapolis Colts on Monday Night Football. Not a great Monday Night Football matchup, to be honest with you here. Both these teams have looked very iffy this season. Jeff Saturday has turned this Colts program around. It's being played in Indy. Matt Ryan has looked decent. The Steelers' defense did not look good really at all. I do think that they're going to be able to play much better here today on a Monday against the Colts. So I think this is going to be a slug out. I just trust the Colts offense a little bit more than the Steelers offense. So I am going to take the Colts in this one, but I could very much see a Steelers. Never mind. The Colts defense is not great. I have to take the Colts. This is tight, though. So many upsets, guys. I could see a lot of these going south. Really a ton of them. Like, my oh my, a lot. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully you all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your predictions. And anyway, peace.